Yep.
Next thing we're going to look at is a big piece of news for linemen. First time we can have any positive news in the last
Been
4 years,
a while.
and that would be that a new lineman cleat has emerged during OTAs.
There they are.
Now, I guess so. First, we'll talk about how we know what this is. Second, we'll talk about if we actually like this.
Hmm.
In my post, I was calling it the Nike Force Savage Pro 3. The way we know that when looking at them is a couple things. Number one is going to see the force on the side. So we know that the last ones are called the Force Savage Pro 2, and there's the Force Savage Elite TD2s. The Elite TD2s have the higher ankle cuff. Maybe they'll come out with those. Maybe they figured no one at the NFL was wearing those. Trent Williams wore them a couple times, but they were so big, so bulky, really hard to move in,
Yep.
just so stiff. No NFL guys wear those. So there's that. So if it's called the Force, we're assuming it's going to be part of the Force line. It's also worn by two linemen in these photos, so we already know it's going to be a lineman cleat, Force lineman cleat. We're connecting a couple dots.
Makes
And the way
sense.
we know it's probably going to be the 3 is going to be on the 2. So on their last cleat, say the 2, we had the Menace or Alpha, whatever you want to call it, traction plate on here. And on the Alpha Pro 2s, the same traction plate. Now, the only difference between them is this is a slightly wider version of it just to accommodate the feet, but it's the same traction plate. Now, last year they came out with the Alpha Menace Pro 3s, and this has this X-frame traction plate. And as you can see, it's the same traction plate on these new Force cleats. So it's pretty easy to figure out that they're following the same structure where they're aligning the traction plates across their models for big skill and skill. And so these would likely be the Nike Force Savage Pro 3 cleats. If they're in OTAs, I'm assuming they'll come out to the public next year. I know with their DTAC 7s, they've been testing them with college right now, and they're coming out to the public next year as well. So it seems like next year is going to be a big year for Nike with Vaporjet 8s, Superbad 7s, DTAC 7s, Force Savage, and probably
Jeez.
some other stuff. It just seems like it's going to be a big year.
Yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah, everything's kind of aligning for all their stuff to drop everything in 2024.
Yeah,
That's fun. That's fun for us.
it'll be fun for us.
But yeah, what do you think
Now,
about these cleats as far as how they look? They look a little bit lighter, maybe.
so they basically so I was trying to think through, okay, so with most of the guys that are wearing Lyman cleats right now, most of them wear either a Jordan, like a Jordan 10,
Hmm.
mainly because the Jordan 10 was available to the public, or they wear a Force Savage Pro.
Yep.
Now, did they want guys to stop wearing these Jordans or something? I don't know. Or they asked them, why are you wearing the Jordan over the Nike, the Force Savage? The two differences between them is that with the Force Savage Pros, you have a lot of protection, right? A lot of really heavy, big, bulky materials on here, and a really big, high ankle strap that straps around. These are super secure. They're great cleat, in my opinion, for big guys. And now it looks like they're kind of merging them, where, in my opinion, if you looked at this photo, you'd actually think this is a pretty old cleat.
Yeah, I agree with
To be
you.
honest,
It does look a little bit more low profile, and you guys can kind of see that right cleat. The toe box is kind of flexing a little bit. The material is just a little bit thinner, a little bit more lightweight. I'm curious how much protection it's sacrificing, and then you don't have a strap up top. Which I mean, something I've noticed a lot of people really don't like the straps
yeah,
on football cleats, which I guess. But this does look like a blend between an Alpha Menace and a Force Savage. You've got a separate piece tongue. Looks like a pretty solid heel cup, and then that new wider Alpha traction plate.
yeah.
It looks like
Uh,
a lineman football cleat. I'm all for it. I think it looks really good. It's really simple, really bare bones, but it looks like it'll do the job, which is, kind of how I view, linemen as when they pick out their cleat. They're like simple, does the
Fair.
job, looks good.
They could also be asking guys like, say, Quentin Nelson, who still wears like the Zoom Sharks or whatever those things are
Yeah,
called, the
Zoom
older
Code
ones.
Elite.
Zoom, there it is. Zoom Code Elite 3-quarter. What have we not made for you that would actually get you to get into something modern?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe that's where they were talking. They were looking at the guys that still wear old stuff and saying, why are you still wearing the old stuff when we have this new stuff? Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
I see here a lot of perforations, a lot less protection on the toe box, a lot more flexibility. Most people in here are saying I see a lot more ankle injuries in my future, and they already look horrible.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of positive opinions, especially same thing with like the DTACs, where it's like took you guys 5 years to come up with something. This is the best you have type mindset.
Yeah.
Um, I think having force on here, I don't like it. I think it takes away. Um, I think it takes away from the design. Not a big fan of it. I think they should just not have that on there. Now, maybe the other ones won't have it on there. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not like these
You
are
got to keep in
finalized.
mind it is pretty early.
Yeah,
Unless they're giving these to the guys, unless this is a final model, they're already giving to the guys, kind of like they're going to be giving them the DTAC sevens.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they
Um,
look like a pretty polished product. The logos aren't color blocked or anything. You can really see all the details. So maybe it is. Maybe this is the finished product.
maybe.
Something I'm looking
So
at right
it's a
now. No, you go. You go.
what I worry about, and also what makes me optimistic, at least from a design perspective, is number one. Our what I worry is our only two photos of them are in white and black.
Mm-hmm.
Lineman cleats notoriously come in only black and sometimes white, depending on
Mm-hmm.
the brand. Most of them have white now. Under Armour, Nike, all of them. Um, Having said that, I like the Four Savages because they had all these other colors.
Yeah.
Um, Now, with that, one sec. There's just something popping up here. I just got to check this. Um, do, do, do. I know I shouldn't be doing this during the pod, but this is the life I got to live right now.
Mm-hmm. Something I'm looking at with these cleats right now is there like a thicker midsole on these? Are you gonna get like a lot of cushion? It kind of like it looks like it's a little bit thicker than because what are the Force Pro 2s? Do
So
they have Lunarlon?
yeah, so the
Okay.
Force and the Jordan 10s, they all have Lunarlon midsole.
Yeah, so as far
Um,
as cushioning, I wonder what kind of cushioning they have because it doesn't look like Lunarlon, but it could be. What other cushioning does Nike have right now? They have the React cushioning. What if they've started to implement that in football cleats? That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe.
That sounds
Um,
pretty good.
Anyways, the one thing I was going to say, now that I got that other thing sorted, is these have been notorious. Yes, they came out with a bunch of crazy colorways for these. It was like, damn, they have this crazy cleat. It comes in orange, blue, red, black, like all these colors, right? But what if these have been so low stock and so hard to find inventory?
Hmm.
What if one of their struggles was the fact that this material is so different that they could not continue with this material and source it and create it and keep inventory in the colors?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's to do with supply chain or something where they couldn't uphold this, where they said we can go back to a more traditional cleat and provide more than just black and white. Maybe this going back to something more traditional and more not like futuristic or whatever you'd call this for Savage, um, will allow us to have more style options, more ability to match team colors, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Very well could be.
Yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy with them. I can't wait to see them in person.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if they don't perform, and they could look really cool. If they could look cool and they don't perform, no one's going to wear them. Same thing with the Zoom codes. If they don't look very good and they're still the best cleat option, linemen are still going to wear it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, you
So
guys are so limited as it is, so it's kind of either wear this or wear nothing, right?
yeah, exactly.